Hello and welcome back to Film Pro Productivity and Success, the podcast that helps creative people to live a more focused, effective and happy life. My name is Carter Ferguson and this is episode 172. Level Up, 10 ways to gamify your career. Gamification is not about turning everything into a game. It's about taking the essence of what games do really well and applying it to the areas outside of games. Simon Sinek, unquote. In last week's show, I looked at 3 reasons why creatives fail, and it's been a show that's gone down a storm, so if you haven't listened to it yet, please do go check it out. Continuing my tactic of listing shows with a number in the title, which I've noticed in the past, for whatever reason, helps them to rank. Don't ask me why, they always seem to do a wee bit better than the ones that don't. Well, today, following that trend, I'm looking at 10 ways to gamify your career as a freelancer. And a creative freelancer, I probably should say. I know a lot of different people listen to the show, but creative freelancers, they seem to make up a large majority. So this is one for you, and there will be, as always, plenty in here for everyone else to tap into as well if you don't think you count yourself in that world. And you might already be aware of this term, but what is gamification? Well, gamification is the process of turning tasks or goals into game-like experiences by adding rewards, challenges, or milestones, and it can make freelancing less isolating, something I've talked about already this series, and perhaps a bit more fun along the way as well. And it involves integrating aspects of game design like points, badges, leaderboards, challenges, or levels into our various activities or tasks or processes. And it adds structure to the unstructured nature of freelancing. 2, it increases motivation by making progress tangible, something we can feel. And 3, it turns challenges into opportunities for growth and development. So without my relying on any game-specific jargon here in this episode, here are 10 productivity-focused ways to gamify your freelance career. Number 1 on my list is to break goals down into milestones, and I talk about this very, very often. Divide your large projects or long-term goals into smaller, manageable milestones. Say you're a freelance video editor, say, working on a half-hour documentary. Instead of trying to tackle the whole thing at once, you could break it up into smaller pieces. So start by sorting through all of the footage, as a good pro would do. Then make a rough cut of the first 10 minutes, say. And then after that, you add music and sound effects to just that section before you move on to the next one. And by taking something like that chunk by chunk, it not only makes the project feel less daunting, but it also helps you to see your progress as you go. That's break goals into milestones, into bits, break it down to the smaller pieces. And number 2 on my productivity-focused ways to gamify your freelance career is to follow that up by adding in a rewards system. This is a very, very common gamification. So you can assign rewards to yourself for completing specific tasks or achieving goals. For example, if you're a freelance graphic designer, say, working on a big branding project, you could decide that after you finish the initial logo concepts, maybe, that you'll take a proper break, or you'll go and catch up with your friend, or you'll maybe take the dog for a walk or whatever. Setting up small rewards like this for each milestone will help you to keep motivated and give you something to look forward to as you move on through the project. Next, number 3 on my list, and I'm doing this right now with podcast episodes, is to track the progress of what you're doing visually. Use a chart, a whiteboard, or an app to track your progress in whatever it is that you're doing, because seeing your accomplishments, it could even be something like losing weight, seeing your accomplishments grow over time will create a sense of achievement and it'll motivate you to keep on working. I've got just 4 more episodes to research and develop after I complete this one, for example. I know that because I've been tracking them. I use whiteboards a lot, and I think I've mentioned this several times, but when I complete a task, I no longer wipe it off the board. I put a line through it, or I put a tick next to it to say I have done that, so I can look at it visually and go, I have achieved that. And as soon as I finish this show, I'm going to put a tick in the ready to promote box. I've got boxes next to my episodes. I'm just looking over at my shows at the moment, and I've got one that says ready to record, which just means that I've basically researched it and it's got its kind of rough script together for it. Then I've got a tick next to recorded, and I put that in once a show is done. In fact, I've got a couple of shows to put up there right now. Then I'm on to have I done the background image, and have I done the promotion for it? That's quite a big one, so I'll put a tick there as well. And then I also have to decide launch dates as well, and I put that up there as well. So these all just help me to track what I'm doing, and it really makes it feel like I'm getting stuff done. As I say, I'll do the same. I'll tick this one off as soon as I've got it recorded, and I'll be able to look at it and feel, right, I've got somewhere with it. I am also aware that this is show 7 in 12 episodes, so I've passed the midway point, and by tracking this progress visually, it does make me feel I'm getting there. Number 4 is to set time-based challenges. Use time limits to focus and boost your productivity. For example, you can give yourself 90 minutes to finish a specific task, whatever that might be, and see if you can beat the clock, get that done. And tools like the Pomodoro technique can help you to do that. That breaks tasks down into 25-minute sections and awards you with little breaks and things like that, like I was saying in the previous one. And again, I'm doing this right now as I work in the show, and I got 43 minutes left to complete the recording of this one, and I've got a full day tomorrow to see if I can get another 2 episodes done. That'll be a bit of a stretch. I could get it to 4, would be a real stretch. The trouble is, if I record too many episodes at one time, I get slightly kind of lost in what I'm talking about, which has happened in the past. But it's not too tricky. Number 5 is to build daily or weekly habits. Creating consistent habits like writing for 30 minutes each morning, or pitching to, say, 2 clients every week if you're trying to get work. These habits formed, any habits formed, are good for you. I'm forming habits just now on intermittent fasting. So I have done this in the past, and I've gone back on to, what is it? I'm 16 hours off, 8 hours eating, 16 hours on. So my 24-hour day, 16 hours of which I don't eat calories, as it were, and 8 hours I eat whatever I want to some extent. And I'll be moving that one on to 6-18 at some point as well. I'm trying to establish a regular pattern of going swimming as well. That's a nightmare because I've got so many jobs still on that it's making it difficult for me to stick to that structure. But I'm thinking I'll do a swim, or I'll go to the gym, or I'll do DDP yoga, because DDP yoga I can do in a hotel room if I have to. Anyway, going off piste a little bit, but yeah, building habits is such an important thing. I've done shows on it. Check them out if you want to. Just go back and look at what's there. As I say, I do find this one a hard one to stay across as a freelancer, as my days and weeks can become a total mess with bookings and fight contracts and other worries. But if you can get into the swing of it, habit building is a total game changer. It also, by the way, stops you from having to find the drive to get stuff done, because it's already built in. It's something you do every day or every week. Number 6 on my list is to use checklists as productivity boosters. Turn your to-do lists into a productivity checklist. Checking off tasks, kind of like I was saying, slightly different from what I was saying earlier about tracking the progress visually, but it's in the same kind of area. But checking off tasks as you complete them provides a sense of accomplishment and keeps you focused on completing all of your items, all of your jobs. And yes, I talked about this a few minutes ago, as I say, but here's another thing I can add to that. Using checklists, this is why this is different from the other one, can make complex tasks easier and can dramatically reduce errors. They can improve your efficiency, and they can enhance your performance in general by breaking down processes that you have to do regularly or even irregularly into clear, manageable steps, and ensuring that all aspects of what you're doing are covered. By ticking things off will help you to perform tasks more effectively, more consistently, and more reliably. And in terms of gamification, it acts in itself as a reward when you put those ticks into empty boxes. So I've always meant to do an episode on it. There's a book called the Checklist Manifesto, and it's kind of about this. So I'll maybe look to that in the future. Number 7 is to compete with yourself. I used a quote a few episodes ago that the only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. And that's what this is about. So track how long specific tasks take you and try to improve your efficiency over time. For example, if you're writing a blog post, I could do it with an episode of the show. If I'm working on an episode and it takes 3 hours, you can try and reduce that time incrementally without sacrificing quality. I record shows quicker now. There's still a thing that it takes a while for me to put a show together because I know it's going out, but that is something I kind of do. But I've improved it greatly over time, and it's perfectly possible to do this, perhaps not with everything, but in certain things that you have to do in your day-to-day life and work. So identify what these sort of things are that you can compete with yourself on and give it a go. Number 8, again, I talk about this one quite often, is to celebrate the small wins. Don't wait for big achievements to celebrate. Acknowledge small wins like sending out invoices, completing an admin task, or sticking to your own schedule. Small celebrations help you to build momentum. It's all part of that cycle of productivity. Clearing up these small things will enhance your productivity by reducing mental clutter. It'll help you to build momentum. It'll prevent task accumulation, and you suddenly finding you've got a mountain of things to do, and they're all little tiny things, and it'll also help you in developing discipline. And I'd also add that neglecting to celebrate these small wins, forgetting to do so, or just being so stressed about the next thing that's coming up will lead you to a decline in your motivation. A decline in your self-confidence, a decline in your growth. It'll slow down your productivity cycle. That's why all of this is important. And recognizing and appreciating these little victories, on the other hand, will always help you to maintain your drive and your commitment to continued progress and success. Number 9 is to share your goals. It's leverage accountability, basically. Share your goals with a friend, a mentor, or an accountability partner. Check in regularly to share progress and encourage each other. Knowing someone else is tracking your progress sometimes, but not always, will increase your motivation. I've got, I had one for a while. Like, it was almost like a freelance business mentor. I only had them for 2 or 3 sessions, and it came with a course. I did a course, I got into a course, and then they said, oh, you've got these follow-up things now. I didn't know what they were. They're absolutely fantastic. Just be able to converse with somebody saying what I'm trying to do. That said, I actually failed in my own task one time, but I was kind of held accountable for it. And it was understandable why I failed, because I would get swamped by this job that came in. Can I talk about it now? It's actually probably been released by now, but a huge job that I did for a very, very big name brand came in, and it threw everything out. So when I went to my accountability partner, I was at least able to say that, I didn't achieve anything that I set out to do the last time we spoke, but I did make a lot of money. Anyway, finally here I've got my list is number 10 is to focus on one priority task per day. I talked about this last week's episode, where I actually talked about potentially 3 that you could do, but you could do what Steve Jobs does, because that's another thing I looked up in last week's episode, or did, I should say, rest in peace, is focus on one priority task per day. Choose one priority task and focus your energy on completing it, and that'll ensure that consistent progress happens, and it'll eliminate the overwhelm of trying to do too much at once as well. And if you're ever trying to focus down on a task or a goal, don't forget to use the SMART goal setting system. It's SMART, which stands for set a specific, well-defined task. Decide what that specific task is. Establish measurable objectives so that you can mark how you're getting along with it. Ensure that the task is achievable within that one day. Don't take on a task that's going to take 6 months, but find a part of that 6-month goal and achieve it within a day. Next is choose tasks relevant to larger goals. And lastly, set a clear, time-sensitive daily deadline for getting stuff done. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. That is smart goal setting. It creates a targeted, efficient plan contributing to your long-term success. Gamification is just a buzzword for what good games have been doing all along, providing meaningful experiences. Ian Bogost, unquote. So there you go. That's 10 gamification tactics that might help you to become more productive. Let me just go back over what they were, just for a wee recap. Number 1 was break goals into milestones. Number 2, follow this up by adding a rewards system. Number 3, track progress visually. Number 4, set time-based challenges. Number 5, build daily or weekly habits. Number 6, use checklists as productivity boosters. Number 7, compete with yourself. Number 8, celebrate the small wins. Number 9, leverage accountability. And number 10, focus on one priority task each day. And I'm sure you can find yourself what does I call these things I put at the end? A call to action. Yeah, here's a call to action. Try choosing one of these 10 items and applying it to what you're doing right now. Just choose one and apply it to what you're doing. If you're enjoying this show, I urge you to subscribe, leave a review on whatever podcast app you listen to, even if it's just a star rating. It'd be greatly appreciated. And please do share this episode with a friend or colleague who might benefit from it. I'd be very grateful for your support. Let me end today with some words from Jane McGonigal, who said, "The beauty of gamification lies in its ability to make the mundane extraordinary, turning everyday tasks into immersive adventures that transform our lives for the better." Now, take control of your own destiny, folks. Keep on shooting, and join me next time for Film Pro Productivity and Success. The music that you're listening to right now is Adventures by Ehimitsu, and you can view the full transcript of this episode only on the official website. That's filmproproductivity.com, where you can listen to every episode in your browser if you want. And you can follow my personal account on Instagram if you want, at fight_director. Please join me there. Or follow the show itself on Facebook at Film Pro Productivity. Please continue to support the show, folks, by subscribing, spreading the word, and leaving an awesome review.